it's not a subject where you always see everybody just, you know, super excited to open up those math books. So watching that happen across the board, kids just all loving that time of the day has been really fun and exciting to see.
Yeah, go ahead, Courtney.
Something that's been really exciting for me is I teach below grade level students, and the Khan Academy is changing their lives, literally. I mean, their outlook for their math education and their life in general is so much different now than it was 10 months ago, 12 months ago. It was hopeless. You know, they would want to skip math class, and now they're excited about coming, and their attitudes are improved, and they realize they can do these things, that this isn't some foreign language that they're never going to learn, that they can actually use these concepts and see how they work in the real world and see how relevant they are. And their whole outlook has changed. And I just see kids exiting my class this year with having rewritten their future because they had access to the Khan Academy this year, and it's incredibly exciting.
What kind of an opportunity is the Khan Academy for schools that come from a lower income community or schools that don't have as many resources as perhaps your schools?
Well, I think what I'm seeing with my low-level students, and we've got some, you know, English language learners in my class, we've got special needs students, we've got some students from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, and that's what we're seeing. Those are the kids whose lives are really being changed. All kids, you know, low, medium, high, as far as their skill level, can benefit from this, but I think it's life-changing for those kinds of kids, and it could mean a different future for them if they have access.
I think if you have limited access, you have to be creative about how you get kids access. Whether you have an open lab, a computer lab that has open lab times for kids, and you can encourage kids to go then. We have parents who take kids to the library. Now that requires some parent support, but it is possible that, you know, there is sources that they can get to. It's not easy, but you can, I think, find some value and make it work if you try it.
One of the things my students do at my school, we have study hall times, like elective classes that are study hall, or English language support classes, or special ed resource classes where they have computers there, and so they can actually spend some of their resource class time or study hall time on the computer, or the library is open at lunch and the kids can go in and access computers at that time. So if they don't have access at home, there are other opportunities outside of class time during the school day for them to access. An after-school program or a before-school program would also be a great idea, where you could open up the computer lab and allow those kids to come in and work if they don't have that ability at home.
As you're both speaking, my thought is that when, or if you're in a place where a lot of the students haven't had the opportunity to really do a lot of, you know, they don't like math, they haven't had the opportunity to go as far in math as maybe other schools have, maybe ours, that they probably have gaps in their learning, and this really can help fill in their gaps, teach them right where they're at, and then you know there's students in there who can do more, but the teacher is having to teach here, and they really feel like they're here. And so those kids can excel and can go further with it, while the teacher can still get those students back up to par. So if you've got a group of students who are below grade level, but in a 5th grade classroom, it's not junior high, you've got everybody, and you've still got to reach everybody. So that's what I love about Khan too, is that, you know, even in the low socioeconomic, even if you're not, you know, up to 5th grade standards, you can still, you know, get them up there. Find success, yeah.
You can remediate, remediate when it's appropriate, enrich when it's appropriate, and the data really drives a lot of that and informs that kind of instruction.
If you only have 6 computers in your room, you could try some flexible grouping. You could try, you know, a rotation basis for that. It's not as great as having that one-to-one because you're not getting around to every kid. Your time is used a little differently, but you can still make it work.
Yeah.
I have one more question. When you think about next year, and you're going to be moving into either a new class or keeping these kids for another class, what do you think you're going to do differently, and what do you think you're definitely going to keep?
I am so excited about next year. For one, I feel like I kind of got my feet wet and I got a real handle on how Khan Academy works. I know they're going to expand what they have already on there. But my excitement comes from the fact I get summer to sort of really look at how I'm going to blend Khan Academy with our math curriculum a little bit better. This year it's felt like we've done Khan Academy and we've done our curriculum. And so we're hoping over the summer to do some work to really blend those two so it feels more fluid. It's that we're able to go in and out and not so much either or.
Yeah, I'm excited just because we were doing more of curriculum here, half an hour, 40 minutes, Khan here, 40 minutes, that we can pull in some different projects, more hands-on, make Khan Academy more, I guess project-based, Make it more like, here's the learning, here's the module to do the problem. Now, how to use that in the real world? And where are these students, and can these students be doing something in geometry, and these students be doing a project in this, wherever they're at. And I just feel like next year we'll have a better handle on being able to integrate all of that together more. Where this year we were just learning like the students.
Yeah, I think one of the things I'll probably do first is spend some time teaching kids how to look at the data and what it all means and how it can help them as they prepare goals weekly. We did that, I think, but we did that further in. It was almost kind of like backtracking it. Maybe didn't make much sense to them at that point, but I think that's one of the first things that I'll probably do. And in addition to that is teaching them what goals are, what they look like, achievable goals. Again, we did that, but we did it later on. And we can look back now and say, well, that was an integral part of what we did, is setting those goals and reading over that data. So I think that's probably one of the, or two of the things that I would do first. Well, I'm sure we would all agree. We probably would just put an emphasis on that at the beginning rather than in the middle.
I think modeling more how to watch a video is really important.
Absolutely.
That active listening piece that we have come to find very valuable. Really taking the time to teach kids how to learn from that video. You know, how do you take notes from the video? How do you listen to the video? How do you make that work for you?
Yeah, go ahead. Exactly. That's one of the things that that I think would benefit students, not just with the Khan Academy, but in all aspects of their education and life, is just to learn to actively listen and learn what kind of questions to ask and learn to draw out those important pieces. So definitely going over the data and talking about the active listening component, I'll definitely begin with. And then also the project-based learning. You know, I would like to really sit down this summer and look at certain modules and say, okay, after a student has completed these modules, you know, come up with a list of projects, maybe giving them some more choice in their education, and you know, here's what you can do once you've gotten to this point, and have a little more self-directed class time in my classroom, so students have more of a say in what they do and what they learn, and how they prove their learning and how they apply their learning in my classroom.
We don't let kids be independent learners very often in our structure of education at this time, so I think really setting that example up front of here's what it looks like to be an independent learner and being very clear about what those expectations are will really make the rest of the year great.
Well, it'll make Khan Academy authentic, is what I feel. It'll make it, if here, yes, you can pass modules, yes, you can get badges, but can you apply it? And I think that's where a lot of people are worried about Khan Academy, is that, well, okay, they can do it, but does it mean anything to them? And if we can integrate that and make them apply it into the real world and see that, oh wow, this is what I learned and now I can use it, that's going to make everything just mesh so that it feels good.
To wrap it all up, would you like to just share maybe how the Khan Academy has changed your teaching practice?